Hey, it's Tony Mecia with the Charlotte Ledger, and you're listening to the Charlotte Ledger podcast. You can find out more about the Charlotte Ledger at thecharlotteledger.com. This podcast today is the second in a series of two podcasts looking at the 2024 general election. Today, we're going to be talking about the ballot in Mecklenburg County. In an accompanying podcast, we've looked at statewide races, but here we're looking at Mecklenburg County races for Congress, the state legislature, county commission, and so on. With me today is the Charlotte Ledger Director of Election Information, Sucharita Kodali. She led a team that assembled the Charlotte Ledger Election Hub, which is an in-depth look at 200 candidates in 5 Charlotte area counties, including Mecklenburg, which we're talking about today. The goal of the Election Hub is to provide voters with unbiased and trustworthy information that they can use to cast their ballots. You can find it at ncelectionhub.com. Sucharita, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, Tony.
Okay, so let's start. We'll go federal, local. So we got the House of Representatives, Mecklenburg County. There are 3 districts. So the sort of the Matthews-Ballantyne area is District 8. The center and east of Mecklenburg is District 12. And then the northern Mecklenburg, Steel Creek, Pineville is District 14. So we got 3 races depending on where you live. You're going to have something different on your ballot. Right now, let's talk about the Alma Adams race. She's a Democrat. She's been in office since 2014. She's being challenged by Republican Abdul Ali. And so we got that one. But the one I'd like to dig into a little bit more is the Mark Harris, Justin Dews race in District 8. Why don't you break that one down?
So Mark Harris, who ran for Congress before, now you'll remember his election, he won in 2018, but that election was overturned because of allegations of ballot harvesting in Bladen County. So, but he's back, he's running. He believes that that election was stolen from him. And he is running against a Democrat newcomer to politics. His name is Justin Dews. He is a businessman, a former Marine. So that's what we have.
The other race that a lot of people are paying attention to is the District 14 race. This is Tim Moore, the Republican Speaker of the North Carolina House, going up against Pam Gannant, a Democrat. What do we know about this race?
It has Tim Moore, who is the current NC House Speaker, and he's been the long-term House Speaker. And he is running against Democrat Pam Gannant. She is an Army nurse. The interesting point here for voters is that District 14 is actually Jeff Jackson's old district.
Right. They redrew those lines. Tim Moore, the House Speaker. So, I mean, if you like the direction that things have been going with the state legislature, Tim Moore is responsible for a lot of that. And if you don't, Tim Moore is responsible for a lot of that. So, to the extent it's a referendum on Tim Moore. All right. Next up, the NC Senate. We have a few competitive races. There are a few that there are no challengers. The Senate District 37, which is the very northern tip of Mecklenburg County. Vicki Sawyer, a Republican who's been in the Senate since 2018. She's going against Katie Compton-Barr, a Democrat. What about this race?
Yeah, so this is one where Vicki Sawyer is the incumbent, has been in there since 2018. But Kate Barr is running because she wants to give Democrats a choice. So that's something that she's, in fact, her website is Kate Barr Can't Win. And she's gotten some publicity in various national media for exactly that. This next one's getting a little bit hot. North Carolina Senate District 42. You have Stacey McGinn, a Republican, a former business executive for Bank of America, running against Woodson Bradley, a Democrat. Moving to the North Carolina House of Representatives. You do have an interesting one in the northern part of the county, North Carolina House District 98, where you have Melinda Bales, a Republican, former mayor of Huntersville, running against Beth Gardner Helfrich, Democrat, former teacher and third-generation Davidson resident. What do we know about this? Essentially, you have Melinda Bales. She's been in local politics for some time. She's a former mayor and commissioner of Huntersville. And Beth Gardner Helfrich, she's a newcomer to politics.
Got it. Okay. North Carolina House District 99. You have incumbent Naseef Majid, a Democrat, former Charlotte City Council member, Mecklenburg County Commissioner. He's running against Republican Isaiah Payne and Libertarian Rob Yates. This is in the University City area. You do have at least on paper competitive race. North Carolina House District 103. Laura Budd, a Democrat, against Josh Naday, a Republican. And then, let's see, House District 104, you have Brandon Lofton, who's been in the House since 2019. He's running against Republican Kristen Bukhari. What's notable about her?
Well, she is the wife of Tark Bukhari, who is on the Charlotte City Council. So that could be worth watching, but that district leans pretty heavily Democrat right now.
The other really hot one in the North Carolina House race is North Carolina House District 105. This is in the Matthews, Southern Mecklenburg area. Why don't you tell us about this one? People might have heard about
this is one of the hottest races because it's Nicole Sidman, who's a Democrat, running against Trisha Cotham, who is now a Republican, but used to be a Democrat, was a Democrat until just recently when she switched, gave the Republicans a supermajority in the House. So this is going to be absolutely a hot race. It's heavily contested. Nicole Sidman's raised quite a bit of money and has been knocking on a lot of doors in the district to get people to understand the issue and to get people who may have felt betrayed by Trisha Cotham's switch to vote.
Moving on, turning to the district court judge 26 seat candidates. There are a number of them. They are all unopposed and they are all Democrats. Okay, really quick. Mecklenburg County Commission at-large candidates. There are 3 seats available. And guess how many people are running?
Well, 3, because there was a primary and several people were ousted.
Well, yes. A lot of it was determined in the primary. County Commission is 9-0 Democrats. So the party composition is not going to change here, but some of the faces will a little bit. Arthur Griffin, Yvette Townsend Ingram. She's a newcomer. Lee Altman. She served for a little while. So, nothing really contested there. County Commission District 1, the northern part of the county, Elaine Powell, incumbent Democrat, being challenged by Aaron Marin. We'll see how these turn out. I think, again, several uncontested races for Democratic incumbents, including George Dunlap in District 3. I know you do have Vilma Leak in District 2. She's been there a long time. That's competitive on paper. I mean, it has a challenger at least. Angela White Edwards, who's a Republican. Mark Jarrell, a Democrat, unopposed, District 4. Yeah, you do have some contested ones in the southern part of the county. District 5, Art McCullough, Republican, against incumbent Democrat Laura Meyer. What about this one?
Yeah, so Art McCullough is a retired anesthesiologist, and he's in that southern part of the county where there does tend to be more Republican there or a higher percent of Republican voters. So he's hoping that they show up. And Laura Meyer's been on the county commission since 2020. And so she's an incumbent, and she and Susan McDowell are the 2 contested in the southern part of the county. District 5 is in the southern part, but not the southern perimeter. District 6 is the southern perimeter.
The District 6 is, like I said, incumbent Democrat Susan Rodriguez McDowell being challenged by Republican Jim Mauricio.
Yeah, and he's a local businessman, IT executive, and just both of them, because when they've spoken publicly, I feel that just the Democratic dominance on the county commission is one where you could just have it warrants having another voice, and that is why they're running.
All right, moving on. Register of Deeds, Fred Smith, incumbent Democrat, unopposed, and then rounding out the ballot, Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, this is one that often gets overlooked, and there are no incumbents running. And this is a race. I encourage everybody to just read the descriptions and see who best fits. There's going to be one person that will be elected. You have Mitchell Mullen, who appears to be an energy consultant. Lisa Rudisell is a violinist at Calvary Church. She would be a newcomer to politics and to this role. And then Tigris McDaniel.
All right. And then, I'm sorry, one other thing that I forgot about on the ballot. I said the previous one rounded it out, but really this rounds it out. There are Charlotte bonds on the ballot. $400 million worth of bonds, $100 million for affordable housing, $283 million for transportation, $62 million for neighborhood improvements. You have to vote yes or no on the bonds. There is an active vote yes for city bonds campaign. As far as I know, there is no organized opposition. And I think that will do it, Sucharita.
That should do it.
All right. That's a wrap. Again, this is the second of 2 podcasts. You can check out our companion podcast on the statewide races, and be sure to check out the Charlotte Ledger Election Hub at ncelectionhub.com. You can find out more about the Charlotte Ledger and what we do at thecharlotteledger.com. Thanks for listening. This podcast was produced by Lindsey Banks.